The state cabinet today cleared a Rs 50 crore financial support package for the Garo Hills Autonomous District Council aimed at clearing nearly a year's worth of pending salaries for its employees. Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma told reporters today after chairing the meeting that about Rs 24 to Rs 25 crore will come from the Ghadc's share of taxes, while an advance of another Rs 25 crore will be released by the government. The money will go into an escrow account and will be used exclusively for salary payments. The Chief Minister also clarified that this is not a bailout but an advance release of dues with additional state support. The Council has also accepted the appointment of an IAS officer as Principal Secretary, while the Deputy Commissioner will serve as an ex-officio Principal Secretary.
The the committee under the District Council Affairs Department has submitted to a proposal to the Cabinet, and the proposal is as follows: that after detailed discussion with the subcommittee and with the detailed discussion with the EC of the Garo Hills District Council and understanding their needs and concerns, the state government and the cabinet today has decided to release in advance the share of the councils in their royalty, and with this they will be able to clear certain amount of backlog, approximately 12 months, and will be able to pay salaries on time. And this advance against the share of the councils, as I said, is what has been agreed by the cabinet today. In line with that, the EC has also agreed that once this advance against the share of the council is given to them, they will also accept the appointment of an IAS officer as Principal Secretary to the Ghadc, and to overlook into the financial aspect in terms of the disbursement of the salaries, particularly of the District Council, and also to look into certain aspects of financial reforms of the Council. Also, it was agreed that the Council will be requested to open up an escrow account to manage these funds that will be the advance share of taxes of Council royalties, which will be released to the Council. The escrow account will be opened up so that it can be monitored in terms of the money that goes in should be used for disbursement of salary purpose.
No, as I said, that this is not, again, let me repeat, this is not any kind of bailout package. This is not any kind of intervention. There is nothing decided today. Only thing that has been decided, which I want to very clearly clarify, is that we are releasing the advance of the royalties and the shares that they have, which is their dues. But from the future, of course, there are certain advances that they require. So we'll be releasing that to enable them to be able to pay the 12 months backlog, and also to be able to enable them to pay the salaries on the first of every month. And I also want to share that even in the last 3 years, as I said, we have already been supporting the council by releasing funds to them, and additional funds also has been given. So it's not that we are reacting only now. Even in the past, funds have been released to the Garo Hills District Council to enable them to pay salaries. So in fact, in the last 4.5 years, about 42 months of salaries have been paid, and a large amount of that has come out because we have again released some additional amount in terms of advance to them. So therefore, we have been interfering and intervening. I don't say interfering, I think intervening is the correct word. Intervening to support them in terms of the salaries and financial.
In today's decision, the Cabinet also approved the settlement of Sora land dispute, paving the way for the transfer of 128 acres at Sajsopen to the Elaka of Himasora, ending a conflict that dates back to the British era. The government also formally introduced the e-Cabinet system, a paperless platform for Cabinet agendas and approvals. In today's Cabinet decision, rules were cleared for the Taraghar State Guest House, including room allotment and operational procedures. The Cabinet approved the Meghalaya Directorate and District Driver Service Rules, which will regulate the recruitment and promotion of government drivers. The official 2026 state calendar was also approved in today's Cabinet meeting. And finally, the Cabinet reiterated its strong opposition to uranium mining, vowing to take up the issue with the centre if any law or notification goes against the people's interest.
The first item was the approval of the Meghalaya Directorate and District Drivers Service Rule 2025. As you're aware that in the past many years there has been a very aggressive approach and work by the personnel department to ensure that all the service rules are in place, because these directly affect the promotion of and recruitment of employees and promotion of employees, and hence having proper service rules in place is absolutely mandatory. And hence in the past we have been doing that, and in line with that today we have also cleared the Meghalaya Directorate and District Drivers Service Rule. Number two, as you're aware, we have inaugurated the State Guest House in Taraghar just recently, and therefore we have prepared a proper SOP on how the Taraghar and the State Guest House will be run, and how the rooms will be allotted, to whom it will be allotted, and the different aspects of how to run the overall guest house. So this SOP was presented to the Cabinet today and it was cleared. The third agenda was the holiday list for 2026. We have approved that in the Cabinet today, and it is similar and in line with the holiday list of 2025. The fifth agenda was the GAD land at Site Sopen in Sora Civil Subdivision. There had been a dispute with the Ilaka and the state government for many decades, and the Ilaka also had raised concerns about the overall ownership of the land in the Sora subdivision in Site Sopen. And today the Cabinet has approved the recommendations that have come through the committee that was headed by the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister Bapriston Tinsong, where for the past year and a half this committee has been engaging with different stakeholders and different individuals and people to finally come up with a long-term and a permanent solution to this. Based on this, there were certain areas which had been occupied by the residents and by the Ilaka overall out there for many decades, even before the statehood, and in fact some or majority of them even from British time. And therefore, based on all these records, there was a discussion that was done with the Ilaka, and there was reached to a conclusion after detailed discussion with them that approximately 128 acres of land will be handed over to the Ilaka, and the rest of the land there will be with the GAD and with the state government. And with this decision, this long pending dispute and issue between the Ilaka and the GAD, hopefully, as I said, will be resolved. Once this Cabinet decision is made, now they will go for a formal agreement with the concerned stakeholders and move forward to find permanent solution, and to not move forward to find, but move forward to conclude the permanent solution for this long pending issue. I also would like to mention that today we have officially also launched the e-Cabinet, which means that slowly and steadily we are seeing papers. We've been seeing papers in the past, but now the entire Cabinet process will be all online through a software which is obviously very secure and only available to the Cabinet Ministers, only available on particular gadgets. So only on this particular gadget I'll be able to access the e-Cabinet. where of course we will have all the past records of all the cabinet decisions taken in the past. Subject wise, we'll be able to search the different cabinet decisions. The agendas for the next cabinet meeting will come on this e-cabinet. We can go through it, and not only that, the approval also will be done online, so that it will become a paperless cabinet, and we'll be able to perform the responsibilities and duties electronically, and all the, as I said, the agenda and the papers and everything will slowly, we will be having a paperless cabinet meetings in the future. Our people and our community and stakeholders, we have always stated, even as a government, that we are not in favor of mining of uranium. We are very, very, very clear on that. And we've made this statement very openly, and I'm making it open now also. Number two, I've not gone through the entire details of what the notification. In general, I have, but these are very serious matters, and hence it requires proper legal scrutiny. So we are going through that. And based on what we see, we will seek clarification from Government of India. And as and when required, I will take up the matter with Government of India at different levels and ensure that the interest of our people is protected. So therefore, this is a responsibility of our government, and if we find anywhere that there is any particular law or any particular notification that goes against the interests of our people, it is a duty of the government to take up that matter with the center. And I can assure you and assure the people of the state that we will be standing with the people on this issue, and we will take up the matter once we have seen the entire legal aspect of it and the impact of this. And once we are clear, we will move to Delhi, and if necessary, as I said, we'll take up the matter at the highest level.